like you can see, as you can see, we're still prompt. I got my mask on because I'm been sneezing because it's not because of COVID, it's because of allergies.
And I don't have one on
Freaking
because
allergies.
I only like mask. Only like reusable masks. Those masks are so uncomfortable on my face.
I actually don't mind these. I tend to like these actually better.
You a good one because I had to wear one today
Yeah.
because I forgot my mask at the crib.
Oof.
You know, I keep several on me, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this thing is like
You gotta get you gotta get your own set, dog.
scratching my face up."
Sometimes the things affect my ears every
That
now and
too.
again, but like honestly, it's not so bad. It don't bother me too much. But then again, being used to this stuff since like Jump Street. Oh my Jesus, what is that? I gotta stop looking at wild stuff whenever I'm
Yeah, don't do
potting.
that. Don't do that.
I can't because like
You gotta do like me, bro.
nose killing me.
Put everything on do not disturb. Which reminds me,
I do need to put everything on this.
that's how I do, bro.
I still scroll just because it's like a fidget spinner for me. I just scroll. Huh, $1.99 at Kohl's for mask. Listen, Cole said. I be forgetting they mad cheap now. That is true. It's very true. I keep forgetting that they are mad cheap.
Welcome to the live stream.
I be stealing them, and it's got adjustable ears. Look, I be stealing them jumps for work. So
I prefer.
It's not really stealing because they offer them freely.
I'm not buying disposable masks. I just can't do it. For me, it's like the difference between paper plates and actual plates.
Hey, paper plates come in handy.
No, I'm not saying that they don't, but like
preferentially,
if you're gonna use them, like basically, I find regular plates to be a lot more useful.
Okay, I guess I get that
because you know they're solid,
right?
Like it's kind of like that.
Okay, that makes sense. That does make sense.
Although there are times where I'm just like, I do keep paper plates in the crib just for like guests and when I don't want to wash some shit.
Right.
But like they're supplemental, whereas like regular plates are essential. What's going on? What's power?
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you on that. All right. We see that Alyssa and Co is in here. Who else is in there? I think there's two. Unless it's you. It's not you, is it? Because yeah, sometimes we monitor the stream ourselves. Let's see. Who's on here? There's two people from YouTube. Let's see.
What's power? What's going on?
What's Brazakin, bro? Bro sandwich, bro Sif. I gotta stop. But
we are talking life goals tonight, priorities and time management.
Yep, all things that we all know that we functionally suck at. That's what it is. Oh, are you trying to say you special now?
No, not at all. But there are definitely people. There are definitely people who do it better than we do, and there just happens to also be a correlation between their pockets, and ours too.
Super facts. What's up, Castro? Look, we glad that you were here because this is actually your topic that you suggested.
Yep, bro. And I've been on this time rant for like almost a week now with several different people in my main circle. So
yeah.
It's like the perfect amalgamation.
Yeah, it came at the right time. Speaking of such, since you are here, why don't you tell us what kind of sparked it in your brain to even suggest the topic? I know it's been some weeks, so if you need a moment to think, cool. But you know, I guess that'll be the first question. You know, because I'm curious. I'm curious to actually know. No, listen, Co said I thought I was the only one when it comes to, I guess, management and really thinking about that stuff. Yeah, it's been on the minds of a lot of people, it seems like. I'm actually add a question into because you know how I do.
Got you.
I should have dropped this earlier.
Y'all know the demo. For those of y'all new, we usually start the stream anywhere from between 15 and 20 minutes in. No music tonight.
Because we forgot the freaking speaker.
Fault of me.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say we, but yeah, if you want to take that L, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's my L to take, sir. Give me that. Put it on my chest, B-O-L. But hope y'all doing good this Thursday evening. Also, I put up a question in the group, regarding time management. So definitely check that out if y'all want to continue the discussions after the pod is off.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Castro said, just managing my hobbies, working overtime, and taking care of my daughter and my girl. Yeah. And you know what? That's super valid in terms of, what this is about. You're literally living it because you're trying to manage your life on what? 3-4 fronts? Because we could say taking care of your girl and your daughter is kind of in the same one, but it's not exactly, because you have to go about it in 2 different ways. But so we can technically count that as one. And then the other 2 being your work life, and then your life itself, like what you enjoy doing. Because yeah, that's one of those things that is insanely hard to do, especially if, like your family's just starting. So like, this has probably been a period of development and learning for you, dang near every step of the way. I can't imagine I don't have kids, but I do know what it is like to try to manage your work life, your fun life, and a relationship. And yeah, it is, to say the least, an arduous task.
But it's not impossible.
No, it's not possible.
And we gonna get up in that. Hey y'all, do us a favor. Go ahead and share the stream.
Yep.
Like it's the easiest way we can get people involved.
Y'all did like it, so we got 3 likes. We appreciate that. You're doing good. You're doing good. We ain't even have to tell you this time. That's what's up. Okay. I see y'all. See, we ain't always just gonna yell at y'all. We appreciate when y'all do good. I'm being a mess, but yeah. The listening code said, I'm not gonna lie, I have bad time management. Okay.
Cool. Well, you're on the right podcast because we're gonna talk about some methods.
That actually brings up another question. Let's see. Question 2. Taking folk back to school. So basically, question 2, which I know y'all can read, but question number 2: if you have trouble managing your time, why do you think this is so? Basically, what do you think keeps you or inhibits you from managing your time properly?
Name a vice. We don't need all 20 of them because there's usually multiple reasons. But
you ain't gotta go.
Let's look at the most prevailing because there's usually a priority in terms of the vices, excuses, whatever you call it.
You ain't got to go through the fire and the flood, but we are curious.
Because that's worth discussing.
Yes.
Especially to alleviate the problem.
I certainly think so. Doesn't replace it. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, you said you're trying to get into exercise. All right. And with that being said, how do you think you would be able to, you don't have to give a full answer, but like hypothetically, how do you think you would be able to fit that into your current schedule? Like, what do you think you would have to do, or what would you think would be smart to do in that case? Because I mean, I feel you. Look, at the new job that I'm at, one of the offices we have is actually got a weight room that they're going to start letting us use. So
nice.
That's going to get abused thoroughly. They also have a yoga room. So, in case we want to do that, because one of the people that works, one of the coworkers actually does yoga and teaches it. So that's kind of dope. So that's going to be interesting to see. Let's see. Castro said, I work out 3 days a week, and it's either before work or night after. Yeah. Okay. I got to get there, bro. I've been saying it, but now that I'm going to be in a position where I have a more set schedule, I want to get into that. He said, or on my days off, health as well. Absolutely. And I've seen your grind, bro. You've been on it. I that's what's up. That's old boy who posted up that thing in the gym. That little short video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Whew, man, I just read something that actually relates to what we talking about, but I'm not going to bring it up because it involves personal stuff. But not for me, but for the person who posted it. Does that mean? Look, come on, I'm trying to get a bag. Yes. Maybe explain. Look, hit me up and explain to me exactly how this will get you a bag, and I might take you up on that because this got to go. So
I don't think you're talking about that type of bag. But wait, we're going to see.
Like the workout bag, look, you might be trying to be a trainer. I don't know. Man, this ain't. I will say something quick. This ain't got nothing to do with time management or anything, but it's really just out of respect. Would say rest in peace to my homie Tion Trammell. He just recently passed. I think he had ended up with COVID, and I think it was also complications of the fact that he had beaten cancer before, and I think he may have had some residual issues with that. So I don't even know the full details of it. But yeah, this is a dude that I legitimately did grow up with. We went to the same church. His dad is actually still a minister in my church. But dude was always super positive. I think dang near everybody knows him because he's related to everybody. But like,
rest in peace.
Yeah, he's definitely a positive person. He always has some way to make you laugh or crack up. This man had a suit for every occasion with the shoes to match. The only person I know who for real be on that. And yeah, he was just always positive. So I'm like, that's definitely something I would emulate. But okay. Yeah, Castro said, we'll talk. I'm trying to be a trainer and get my YouTube account together. He said, and Tion is my cousin. I'm not going to speak on it. Yeah. Hey, all respect, bro. But yeah, he was always a good dude, man. He's definitely one of those type people that was never really problematic. This man been in my house before, like my folks' house before. He's hanging with my cousin because they were a little bit closer in age, you know. And I know his sister, I know his dad, I know his sisters, I know his dad, I know a whole bunch of his cousins, but definitely not all of them. But you know,
Castro, I want to say, excuse me, definitely, keep going at it, bro. I'm gonna tell you something. Like I used to, and I say used to, because I'm like you. Like I had a moment in time where I was just like not playing about like the gym and everything.
Right.
And at least within the past year, I done got like lax on it. But
yeah, I was on yours.
I technically still, I still have an active YouTube channel where I literally was doing videos and stuff. I would go up to the riverfront. You know, I'd be running up there. I'd be doing all my little stuff up there, walking the stairs and everything.
Right.
So the main thing you need to remember, bro, is all you got to do is start. Like you don't have to have the best equipment. And this applies to so many things, whether it's podcasts, videos on YouTube. You really don't have to have the most amazing setup. I was doing my shit with my phone. Your average phone at least records in 1080p.
Right.
Nowadays, they do 2K and 4K.
Right.
All you need is a solid phone and the willpower to do it. People will watch it.
True that.
At the end of the day, they're going to come for the content. Not for the quality of the video or the audio, but the content. What is you saying out your mouth?
And consistency as well. Alyssa said, dang, rest in peace. Have a pain stimulator trial coming up next week. So when that happens, I'll be ready to do it more physically without me getting too worn out. And maybe not keep the air on so much for my fibromyalgia. Okay. Sorry for the delay. No, it's cool. It's cool. We wanted a legitimate answer, so ain't nothing wrong with that.
And we ain't gonna keep y'all too long tonight because there's only so much we can say in terms of
like time management,
time management and prioritizing and stuff. Yeah. But we want to help y'all in this avenue of productivity because it seems like, especially in this day and age, with the amount of distractions and the amount of work that we have to do, there's a lot being forced upon us in modern day culture today when it regards to being productive, especially in society. I would say it's a little bit more leaning towards a more equal stake between men and women,
Right.
but society has always in large graded men by their ability to be productive and produce. Women more so reproduce. But still, with that being said,
some measure of productivity.
Exactly. Took the words out of my mouth. So, you know, it's important that we talk about it.
Right. Also, Castro, let me give, I don't know about the YouTube tip, but I do know a dude who is a trainer who I could probably send you some of his information and have you talk to him. It's a dude who used to work with me, and he's really been on his grind for a minute. I think both him and his lady work on stuff. So remind me to let you know. Inbox me that. Cause yeah, he's on his stuff too. Is a dude named Tony. He's cold.
But yeah, you know, I feel good. We got 6 people in the stream. Shout out to y'all. Please,
he said, I got a trainer. I'm good, bro. Oh, you got Marlon? Oh, yeah. Marlon's legit.
Wherever y'all at, please
Marlon is definitely legit.
Rate, comment, and subscribe to the video. Yep. Share it as well so other people can get their eyes on this. We about to drop some gems.
Anyway, basically, concerning time management, that's one that has been really big for me that I had to learn a lot about. And honestly, I learned more or less from doing it the wrong way so much. Like, funny thing is, I literally ended up having a conversation with a guy. I ain't gonna say his name, but I literally ended up in a conversation with a guy at my job who was like stressing mad hard because of that. And it's really just because he's trying to get himself together. He's trying to learn how to drive. He's trying to get a car. He's trying to make sure that things are taken care of. And he's trying to manage time with his girl and like keep his parents off his back and everything. He's 19. So like, you know, all while we're working a full-time job. And like basically all of it was just coming to a head and they just got the best of him, you know? And that's just definitely a good example. What's up, Kiki? It's actually just a good example of what happens when you can't or you're unable to manage your time.
What's power?
Eventually it does catch up to you. Like, because I mean, I felt him on 100% when he was like, man, I just tried to push it all back to this where I could just get it all out of the way in one whop. It's like, no, man, you can't do it because you know your driving hours, you got to do a certain amount. And it's like, I'm like, nah, it's not always good to do that because when you do it like that, you burn yourself out so quickly that you can't function by the time you get to that point, you know? Like, and for me, I had to stop always being like, yo, I'll get to it later. 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 It's like, no. You need to just go ahead and do certain things now, but make sure you do it step by step. What's up, DSOG?
What's power?
Sir, I have a good question for you because you do things that are kind of outside of just your regular job. I don't know if you see the pen question, which is what methods do you use to improve or maintain time management? How do you go about managing your time in a healthy way? Let's see. Alyssa and Co said I have 3 to 4 appointments a week. I'm able to do some housework and cook and do things I like. I'm not sure if I'm doing it or not. These are things that I want to do, but I just never do. Okay, that's good.
Alyssa and Co. Question: do you have children and or are you married? Like, do you have a household? When you say household, do you have or housework? Are you referring to a household? Do you have kids or is it just you? Also, while we wait on those answers, you know, I said that I feel like I've been talking about time all week.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it just dawned on me like a light bulb turned off. And so this might sound pretty like, well, duh, to some of y'all, but it's a lot of the stuff that we find to be obvious, the stuff that we really don't pay as much attention to.
That's very true.
So with that, right, I made this correlation and I came to the realization, I was just like, you know what? Time is money. We've often heard that all of our life.
Right.
And the thing is that we can't go back in time. So time, we can't make up for it. The only thing close to making up for time is this man-made currency, money, right?
Right.
But the thing is that like, if you value your time, I came to the realization that you should value your time, period.
Right.
Not just when you're working like a job, not just when there is money involved.
Yeah.
Because the time you can't get back, which makes it more precious than the money. I can make $2,500 again.
Right.
But I can't get back yesterday or 10 weeks ago.
And you might be frustrated trying to make back that $2,500, but you can't do it.
And it'll never replace the time.
Right.
It will never be a one-to-one. Like so many times, when most of the time when you hear people talk about regrets and stuff,
right,
there's some relative correlation to a time period.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, I wish I could go back in time, or we've heard these types of sentences.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, people have lost money within time as well.
Right.
But you can always get money back. The
Absolutely.
time you can't. And that's how precious it is. So when we talk about time management, I think it's important that we come to the understanding that if we really care about our time, then we have to view it either on the same level as money or above it.
Right.
So I think we have to care more about the time in general.
Right.
Because it's that much more precious, right?
Right.
Absolutely. Before we can truly really manage it. It has to matter to you, basically, in order for you to manage it.
Right. One thing I will say, let's say what's on here. Alyssa answered your question, said, no, it's just me. Can't have kids, but I may be adopting a cat or a dog soon. And DSOG Mental said, make set times for everything. Make it a schedule.
I agree. I myself, I got a whole ass calendar. I believe in time blocking. If you never heard of that, that literally means blocking out times of your day for whatever task that you have at hand. Like, I'm gonna show y'all my calendar real quick. Y'all ain't gonna really be able to see it, but you know, you kind of, if you can see all them bars and stuff, you can kind of get an idea for it. I would share my screen, but that's gonna put it on there, and I don't need it on there in that detail. But you know, I believe in time blocking.
Right.
I believe in using a calendar, whether that be a physical planner, which a lot of people do, or a digital planner through like a calendar app. It's in y'all phones. Our phones are basically the Swiss Army knives of modern day technology. Use a calendar. I'm definitely down for scheduling. Thank you for that one, DSOG.
Right. Let's see. Kiki said it does have to matter. It doesn't have to matter, but I also like to see it on a calendar planned out because I found that to be helpful this time around for my classes. Okay. For me, I make mental markers, or I'll use my phone calendar for certain things, and I need to work on that a little bit more. But for me, I'll make mental markers of like deadlines. I'll be like, okay, this has to be done by this time. This has to be done by that time. This needs to be handled here, right? So that way I'm not doing so much catch-up work. And with that, I make it a point to be like, okay, this has to be done at this point. Nothing can interfere with whatever's going on at this point. If anybody asks if they want to hang out, do anything, I can't do anything between these times.
Yeah, and I love that you said that, because I think that touches on two key bases: priority,
right,
and saying no. A lot of y'all have issues with time management because y'all don't know how to say no.
Been there, done that.
It's okay to say no. If it's infringing on something that you feel is a priority in your life, it doesn't matter what it means to someone else. Stop worrying about what other people think about what you do with your time. Worry about what you know you feel you need and want.
Yeah.
Because it ain't got to be a need.
It can be a want.
It can be a want too. Don't let nobody trick you. If it's a priority in your life, it's a priority.
Yes.
Okay?
Agreed.
Whether you do a physical calendar or you do it on your phone, I hope you do one of the two.
Right.
Because I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna read this comment and I'm gonna say this. Alyssa said, I have a planner, but not anything like a breakdown of the hours. That's smart. I'm telling you, they even make some planners that are more appointment book style.
Yeah.
And trust me, because this is part of what I do for a living. But where you can do it by time block too. They even make calendars like that where you can block the times too, not just the days.
Look, that's gonna be one of them joints I'm probably gonna be using soon for my
bro. I'm telling you, either get you a hard copy one, or use your phone.
Look,
Either way, as long as you do
that's what
one.
I'm about to do.
Bro, you got a frick sign.
Yo, shoot me one of those, huh?
I know look, I'm so in my work, I know the brand of that pen.
Look, and we about to bring up this pen. Get you an erasable pen if you got to take certain notes.
I agree.
Look, you know why? Because in certain cases, you may have to erase a lot of that stuff if you are, trying to manage something in time. Maybe somebody cancels on you.
What's power, brother? Shout out to you.
Joshua Sutton, a.k.a. Murphy's Rising.
What's how you be? How you be? I'm glad to see you on here.
Actually, since I just said that, do you still go by Murphy? I want to be respectful if you did make a shift or a change, because I did not ask that. I need to ask that.
In regards to the planner and calendar thing, shout out to the 7 people we got on the stream. Please
Absolutely.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yes, because we need all of that.
We need the love. But
also apparently we got another subscriber on Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had the email for it. Well,
pull that email up real quick. Let's shout them out. We're gonna shout you out.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get him over.
Whoever rocking with us,
right?
We love you.
Says Haas00312_ is now following you on Twitch.
Shout out, appreciate you.
Haas00312_ You have to say the underscore.
But yeah, when we talk about priority and stuff, y'all got to get comfortable with telling people no. I promise you. It can be hard sometimes.
Exceedingly.
I used to be very bad about this. I used to have this mentality, and I still kind of do, to where I felt like I needed to do everything that I needed and wanted to do. Now, that might not sound crazy to y'all, but picture this. You got a bunch of different people coming at you with things they want to do with you. You got things you want to do with those people and others. Some of it is stuff you want to do alone.
Mm-hmm.
And you just feel the need to want to do everything. It's basically the antithesis of no, it's not even an antithesis. It's FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally what it is.
It's also,
I have to do everything.
It also can be.
I have to be everywhere all the time.
The bad part about that is it can also be a form of micromanagement, because it's not so much that you can't delegate and that you don't have anybody to delegate to, is that you personally believe that no one can do this specific thing quite like you.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think that also ties into professionalism. Y'all, you can't do it all. If you are in a position to delegate, look, and I'm telling y'all as an assistant manager, utilize delegation. Divide and conquer. It's okay. Just make sure that the people that you're choosing to facilitate delegation to are capable. Because sometimes we get desperate and we just say, like, can somebody, no. Be intentional with it. I need so-and-so to do this. It's okay. So, calendar. Priority. Here's the thing about priority. Because there is a pecking order. Life is about hierarchies. Something has to be more important than something else. Look at it from a time perspective. How much time does it take for me to complete this? As well as a focus level too. How much of my attention does this require? Those two things will be key in deciding what's more important. Also, what matters is if it involves other people. Are there other participants in this thing? Because then you're also dealing with other people's time as well, which, if you got any decency in you, you're looking into and you care for their availability. There have been quite a few times, and I'm doing it more often than I used to, where I might schedule something in my calendar and actually invite whomever, send an invitation to that same event. Why am I doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Because whether they use their calendar or not, if they have a smartphone, it links it to them to give them basic notifications, at least through email, if they don't even use the same calendar system. Pro tip. Also, you never know how organized the next person is unless you know them, down to the teeth.
True.
So they might already have their own system in play too. If they're already using the same system, then guess what? It's going to show up on their calendar too.
Right.
So it reinforces accountability for important tasks and events. It's going to be harder for you to forget something. It's in both of our calendars. We both got it, especially when you that detail and time orientated.
Right.
I know some of y'all might be thinking like, man, that's a lot.
It is.
Well, if you value your time, no, it's not. And that's the point. Like, we have to get serious about our time when we're not literally making money.
Yeah.
I think I heard Kevin Samuels actually say this. The money is the hard dollar. The soft dollar is the time. Either way, you're going to spend something. Now, he was talking in the scope of relations, which we're kind of going to touch on as well. But I'm going to hand it off to my brother NeRo because he looked like he got some things to say over
there. I'm promoting. But in all seriousness, yeah, sometimes I think we do get way too waterlogged by the fact that time management does connect and associate with money, associate with monetary gain. You maximize how much time you spend so that way you minimize how much money you lose.
Woo!
And that's how things are done. That's how we're taught to value it. But there's another reason why we should value time management, and it's literally the fact that it's yours. It's your time. You can't get it back.
Nope.
Anything can happen that takes an extra amount of time from you that is not important. It's not a factor. Just being real. It's just the truth.
I'm telling you, you will beg for more time over your lifetime than you will for money.
Right.
Period. They correlate, though. Don't get it twisted. Think about these millionaires. Most of the millionaires still have their days scheduled out and everything. And even the ones that don't, they get to spend that time how they want. And in essence, at least for most of us, because most of us were raised on the basic dynamic of the American dream, literally what that was about is being able to afford to do the things that you want to do with the people that you care to do them with. The whole time, you might not spend money, but that whole time, you will spend time.
Yeah.
So when we talk about that time, you have to put a value on it too. Just like you get paid a certain amount per hour at your job, career,
you are
freelance,
paying a certain amount of energy.
Yes.
That's how I think about it. Like, if it's not worth the time and the effort for me to get into an altercation with you, I'm not doing it. If it is not worth the time and the effort to explain a concept to you, I'm likely not going to do it. If it is not, like, if I do not feel that it is worth the time and the effort to educate, debate, deliberate over something that is not relevant to my life, to the lives of people I care about, and my household, I'm very likely not going to do it. And it's for that specific reason. It's literally because I am not going to waste extra time and energy frustrating and overwhelming myself concerning a subject or subject matter that is not relevant. It's just like I told somebody, I was like, look, let's use a bug, for example, right? Like a fly or whatever, right? Fly can fly in your face, piss you off, right?
Yeah.
Fly can land on your face. And I'm giving myself anxiety while I'm saying this. Like, fly can crawl across your face, do all kinds of stuff, jump back and forth, pop up in your face, do all that.
Do the Birdman hand rub.
Yes, because they do, because they're evil. But literally, at the end of the day, first thing you're going to think is, man, I'm about to burn up all this. Look, you about to burn up all this time sitting there fighting that bug that is this big, or sometimes this big, and be about ready to lose your own sanity trying to kill this thing. And then if you actually successfully murder it, you feel like this big wave of satisfaction, not realizing you just killed 2 hours trying to kind of kill an insect. And a lot of people are going to be like, hey, it's necessary. Yes, but here's the thing. It's like, he was getting on my nerves. Okay, yeah, but here's the thing. You have the choice of whether you react. And depending on how you react to something, some sort of outside stimuli like a bug, you have ascribed value to that thing. Now, how high a value you ascribe to it is your choice. But here's the thing. You know what's true in the end of the day? Because this is also true about people. Guess what that bug is at the end of the day? Still a bug. It's still small. It's still weak. It's still insignificant. And it's still only flying in your face because it has nothing else better to do for its 2-week lifespan. And that's the thing about issues versus time. Value versus time. You choose what you ascribe value to.
True.
Which means that in turn, you choose what you spend time on.
You give it power. Yeah.
And as much as Maxine Waters does like to say it, Maxine Waters does like to say it, and as much as we laugh at it, and as much as we be like, and much as the ladies be like, yes, you cannot reclaim time that is lost. But you can definitely tell somebody to sit down, shut up, and let you have it.
Right. I'm going to read this comment Alyssa said. I set alarms, but that's it. I know it's not priorities, but they are to me, which is getting back to my hobbies. And when the time is right, try to make a small business out of one. I want to say something to you. And that is this. The point should be the only thing we're focused on, meaning the outcome.
Right.
Because the outcome is to be more productive today than we was yesterday. Now,
Agreed.
Does that mean that your methodology is going to look like mine's?
No.
But what it should look like is something that is easily repeated.
Okay.
So it has to have that consistency.
Okay.
Right? You have to have a setup that is both easy, low point of entry.
Okay.
It has to be something that's comfortable for you to a certain extent.
That makes sense.
And it has to produce results. And that last one is the biggest part, because a lot of times what will happen is some of us may disagree about the particulars of the productivity system. But what most of us will agree about is the lack of results, which means what? Something has to change. You got to do something different.
Because what you're trying to do is not achieving the projected outcome.
Right. So in reality, we just have to be careful of that in terms of when we say something works for us. Is it really working for you?
Or are you
just comfortable with how it is?
Or more specifically, have you become complacent because this is as good as it gets?
There you go.
Settled.
You've settled.
Yes.
So let's just we have to definitely make sure of that.
Yep.
But now if you got the results, you got the results. If you got the receipts, can't nobody tell you nothing.
And feel free to present them if you do.
But
that's your right.
And that's the humbling that we all have to do with ourselves when we talk about these things, because that's important. I literally had to sit down a couple weeks ago and do this same thing for myself. I told a couple of people, I was just like, you know what? I looked at my calendar. It's a little bit in disarray. And I don't like that because usually I don't play those type of games.
Right.
I'm all about my productivity.
Right.
So, the reason why these things matter is because these are basically tiny habits and behaviors that create a system or a routine.
Okay.
When you have a bunch of moving parts, it becomes a system or routine, an order of which you do things. And the purpose of you doing things in this order is to achieve a certain result. So you have to create a system, and then you have to repeat it in order to determine how efficient it is. Okay. I'm using passwords. I'm pulling shit back from old podcasts. We're going there.
We're out here.
Because this matters.
Yeah.
If you want to actually see results,
it's an all-encompassing thing.
Oh, yes, because these tiny habits, these systems you create, it has a domino effect and it leads to greater things. So the title says life goals. Then there's the colons, and then it's priorities and time management.
Yes.
Why? Because priorities and time management lead to goals.
Yes.
In the case that we talk in this culture, using trendy words and shit, life goals, right?
Right.
Like, because in order to get to these bigger things that we want to do in life, we have to have systems that lead us to these results, these bigger results.
Agreed.
It starts somewhere, right?
Yep. And a lot of times it literally starts with, look, here's the thing. What you call, I'm going to see if I get this order right. Predispositions or preoccupations can become habits. Habits become tendencies. Tendencies become pretty much schedules. In that, if you have a tendency, if you have a proximity to something or to doing something or doing a certain thing, engaging in a certain action for a certain amount of time, eventually that will become a preoccupation. You will become preoccupied with it because you're interested in it. You have an interest now. That becomes a vested interest, which becomes a true habit, like something that you really do constantly. Eventually, that will become a part of your schedule without you realizing it. You don't pencil it in, but you do it every time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, case in point, a little something I do.
Mindless behavior.
Right. Look, a little something that I do is when I come home, I make sure to unhook my keys, hang them up on the wall. And I try to do that every time I come in. So eventually it becomes a part of the schedule. Even if it only takes a couple seconds, it's a part of the schedule. Or there's a little plant that's right outside my door that actually belongs to your twin. And she just don't feed it because she's a bad plant mommy. So I feed
it. Well, shots fired.
Look, and ironically enough, it made me forget as a result, because that time used to be spent locking the door. A couple of times it made me forget to lock my door. Because I stopped for a second, gave it a little bit of water, moved on, right? It became part of my schedule. Let's see, your listening code said it's better than staying on my phone, switching computer at all other times.
What's
talking about?
What's better?
Are you talking about like the new habits that you're developing and new hobbies? I don't want to say habits, hobbies that you're developing and trying to work on. Is that what you're referring to? Kiki said, not you snitching. Look.
You knew the informer was on.
I ain't worried about it. She can inform her. I don't care. I already came at her about her mommy duties, her plant mommy duties. She know. I'm the one keeping it alive. But, you know, it is what it is. The truth of the matter is, though, is that, yes, we have to be wary of what we spend our time on constantly. Because if we are not, it is going to catch up to you, and it will cause issues and cause substantive changes in your mental schedule, in your daily schedule. What you choose to make time for. My great-grandmother told my grandmother this: don't start nothing that you're not prepared to keep up. That goes back to time management. Because time management isn't just making a schedule. Time management is giving or donating your time to certain things and concepts, which means that these are things you place value on. She said, Tom about it for me, because we know you are.
FBI.
Gee. FBI, we're coming in. But anyway, seriously, the things that you choose to place value into, you do what? You devote time to them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure, Alyssa, what you were comparing in terms of saying it's better than staying on my phone, switching computer all other times. I do want to say something to you, though, because I used to do this too. And it's one of those things that I try my best not to do anymore for this reason. Sometimes, right, we think that if we're not doing things that we would consider worse as much, that we're somehow doing so much better than what we were. But all we've really done is switched out the things that we're doing.
You replace one non effective or non-productive behavior with another non-productive behavior.
Or basically replace the vice with a vice.
Right.
See, this is what I did. I remember like it was yesterday. I remember like basically when I was off of Facebook for a minute, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm off Facebook. At least I'm not on Facebook. But instead, that Facebook time was devoted to like Reddit or something. So
Mhm.
then all I really did was change the names of the handlers, but I was still doing the same like behaviors and stuff.
Yep, you just devoted your time to a new subject.
Starting the hobbies to try to get a small business.
Okay. So I was thinking right. Yeah, and that's good. But yeah, like you said, you don't want to end up in a cycle of relativity.
Yeah, because a lot of people do that. But I truly, Kiki said, but I truly didn't have time management before these last 2 years. I really started to buckle down and stay focused on my destination goal for the year and just try to find me time.
And that's important.
That's what I was comparing. Okay. We good. I just wanted to.
We're on the same level.
Okay.
But yeah, like, and I am not a snitch. Nick telling himself all the time. I said what I said. I ain't worried about it. That's why I said it. You still a snitch though. But
but yeah, you know, and that's the thing. Like, you will start to see the results when you really put in the work. Like when when people really talk about success and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot more focus happens toward the money than the other things that come before the money, which is the system.
It's because it's because it's tangible and you can see the direct results of it.
Sure.
That's why in a lot of ways people can get addicted
to
work.
Symbol. And that makes sense.
That's a lot of reasons why on a lower level people can get hooked on or addicted to working out. The reason being is because you can see the results. You can visually see it. Flips you to bird. Hey.
You know what? Working out.
This is a family program. You don't flip birds here.
Right. No. Also, working in general.
Yes.
I was talking to him about this other day. I was like, you know, it's cool to, you know, have you taken care of, especially financially and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of y'all though fall into this pit where you working too much. And then you don't even know that you're working so much that you don't even realize that when you actually are complaining, what you're really complaining about is the fact that you're working too much.
Yep.
But yet you're unintentionally choosing to work too much. It's cognitive dissonance at its finest.
Yes.
It's like, you know better, but you're choosing to not do better.
Because, and
still ended up having the same
and a lot of it is because, mind if I use this?
Yeah, bro.
Oh. A lot of it really is because you're weighing the scales. You're weighing the scales. Do you just sit it on there?
You might have to turn the thing on.
Oh,
there's a button on it. Right there.
Yeah. You're weighing the scales and you're saying, because I got a buddy who works with me. I got a buddy who works with me who is exactly like this. This is his whole mentality. He's like, look, I want to do this, that, and the third for my kids. If I need to do that, I need to make money. If I need to make money, I'll take whatever hours I can get. This man was working full-time hours as a part-timer for most of the time he was here until they made him full-time. He would stay longer, come in earlier, do all kinds of stuff, and they learned to abuse that. And the thing about it is, because he is the type of person that values work and says, well, if I want it, I got to go get it. If I want it, if I want this, I got to go get that. But at the same time, he referred to a point where he ended up getting called into work on a day where he had promised he was going to spend time with his daughter. Yeah. So it's one of those things. And then he's complaining about being tired. I'm like, look, I'm not knocking you, man, but you need to take time for yourself.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you know, once you make it to Christmas, you'll give your kids a good Christmas, but then you'll be irate, mad, pissed off, frustrated, tired. You can't even enjoy what you work for.
Right. Like we're not, there's not supposed to be, there's not supposed to be this, I'm believing this whole workaholic team, no sleep culture. You need sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, if you think you're going to be doing some, you need sleep.
Look, let's just say it like this. Even though a lot of our grandparents made it to their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they still look fit as a fiddle, you best to believe that they got a lot of other underlying conditions that are happening, and a lot of them suffer from heart conditions and various other things in terms of mental and physical stress because they was team no sleep and team workaholic.
Team no sleep.
Look, they go out and get it. Do what you got it. Look,
sleep and stress are the biggest killers.
Look,
inflammation.
Yes, and it's not that we don't understand why they did it. We do, especially for the situation they was in, especially if they was the color that we was. You know what I'm saying? We get why. But the thing is It's to the point that now that has become a learned behavior. It is natural for them to work that much. When they do not work that much, they feel deficient. They feel like something is wrong. That's why a lot of them retire and work just as hard as they did when they was before they was retired than they do now.
And with that, I'm gonna say this because this is very important.
Right.
Even if you living in poverty,
Mm-hmm.
I need y'all to understand something. Your time still matters.
Yes. Don't put a paycheck to your time.
Because you will never truly be happy. There's plenty of people with money but ain't truly happy because they timing of things is all messed up. You can't have one without the other, and that's the thing. Like these states that people be in, especially when they're suffering from either lack of money and or lack of organization, they are meant to be temporary. Meaning, you don't allow for yourself, especially if you are able-bodied, and even if you're not. Because we got examples of people who are not the most able-bodied out here doing the most.
Yes.
So we got to understand that there's also a personality, or not a personality, but a mindset shift that has to happen too.
Yes.
You have to decide that these things matter to you. Nobody else can.
Yeah.
And it's nobody else can. You have to assign them value, like how NeRo was talking about earlier.
Yep.
You give these things value. You give them power. You give them energy.
Yes.
You decide what's relevant in your life.
Right.
And then once you decide that, then you have to sit down and ask yourself, well, how do I make this a reality for me?
Mm-hmm.
It's not impossible. We see people do impossible shit every day.
And the other thing that you ask, just going back to the same point, how much time do I have to donate to this in order to produce the desired result?
Right. Right. And here's the thing. The way I go about my organization, it starts with a calendar, but that's not where it ends.
Okay.
I have alarms as well.
Okay.
Hell, on my screen right now, I have my calendar. I have a whole calendar widget. I got a to-do list widget for things that aren't as important to be scheduled into my calendar.
Okay.
Like, one of the things I got is I got to change one of the Febreze things. Something that takes like 5 minutes or less.
Right.
I have a general rule of thumb. And I don't remember where it came from, but if it takes 5 minutes or less, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Period.
Because those little 5-minute things, I will speak from experience. Those little 5-minute things are like, oh, well, it'll only take 5 minutes. I can do it later. It'll only take 5 minutes. I can take care of it ever. No. Do it now. Because those little 5-minute things pile up, and next thing you know, you're spending 2 hours doing the same repetitive action because you kept forgetting to do it when it was only 5 minutes.
Right. And in that, you even highlighted, see how time plays a trick on us?
Mm-hmm.
He said, do that thing now because you realize you would have spent 2 hours. 2 hours would have been wasted on not doing it. And now you got to do it 2 hours later. That's procrastination.
Yeah.
Out of all of that, 2 hours has passed for something that only would have took 5 minutes.
Yep.
Which just delayed everything else that comes after you finally do that thing.
Absolutely.
That's how sneaky time is when it comes to us getting things done.
Oh, for sure. No, you want to know something funny? This is actually a funny thing. Especially those of y'all in the black household. I know y'all relate to this.
Woo! Oh, here we go.
You ever remember when your mama, your daddy, whoever your parent was, drove you and maybe your siblings up to the stove and then left you in the car with no AC on, with it off, and y'all looking at her like, Mama, can we go with? No. It's only going to take me 5 minutes.
Man.
I'll be back.
Man.
Was there ever a case where it actually took 5 minutes?
Hey, I got a better one. When you ready to leave the cookout or the hairdresser or wherever,
and she know too many people there, yeah.
And we supposed to be leaving. We right at the door.
Yeah.
I got one foot out the door. And
you going to have that foot out of the door for the next 20 minutes.
Or she is still talking.
Yeah.
Come on now. Y'all know what we talking about.
Mama, you said we were going to leave in 5 minutes.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, shut up.
See how
grown folks are talking.
See how we intrinsically just knew what the response was going to be?
Yep. Shut up. Sit down. Grown folks are talking. Go find something to do. You all right. You got time.
Right. Where you got to be at? You ain't got no job.
You ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
Yeah. That right there is technically engendering in your mind that time management isn't of high importance. If when your friends is around.
You're right. When it's other people,
your time is not important.
Right. And that's why no exists in regards to that.
Yes.
You have to let people know that your time is valuable. Otherwise, they'll dictate it for you.
If you're still young and you live in your mama's house and you don't pay rent, I wouldn't advise doing that. But
and if you do that, don't say we influenced you.
Look, and don't let them know no, we don't exist.
Who told you that?
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now.
The Black in a Minute podcast.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. If your mama come up in the comments, we gonna say that we don't know you real quick. We will deny your existence.
Yeah,
I ain't getting got by nobody's mama, bro.
And if I don't know your mama and she talking reckless, she will get roasted.
I'm just here, bro. I ain't trying to roast somebody's mama. I ain't got time. I ain't got time.
I said what I said.
She might know somebody I know.
I ain't roasting nobody's mama because I don't want my mama. Look, I grew up. Look, man.
Black mamas are dangerous. Right?
Your mama jokes, man. Remember that show? Sidebar. Remember that show, Your Mama, with Wilmer Valderrama? How you say his name? Remember the guy from that '70s show? He used to host the show on VH1 or MTV.
I never watched that mug.
You never watched that show?
Not consciously.
Man, that show was good for like 1.5, 2 seasons.
Womp.
Where people was actually roasting each other, and they had actual good Your Mama jokes at that time.
Right.
It was literally a whole little competition and everything.
That's crazy.
Man, I know somebody in the comments remember Your Mama.
Hey.
This is your show.
Why you figuring this out? Hold on. Why you figuring this out? Because I be scrolling all the time. Somebody literally just said a perfect example of a waste of time. If you go in somewhere or call in somewhere to get help and if you tell the person how to do their job you know nothing about, you're the worst kind of person. Like how I know it. Yep, because you already know. How much of a waste of a time is that whenever you are sitting there complaining to somebody whose job it is to facilitate something for you, and you spending that whole moment, instead of just waiting and being patient, where it wouldn't take that long, and even if it did, you wouldn't really notice it. You pissy the whole entire time, and you just like, ugh.
Come on.
Sydney Fritchley said, dude, that's a nostalgia.
Come on. Thank you. Somebody knew what I was talking about.
But no, like the literal fact that, like, you know how much time that wastes for you to sit there and have to deal with somebody. Look, you ever had to work on something and they just sit there looking at you like,
don't trigger me right now. You know what I do.
Look, they grab the phone and they just like, yeah, I'm just waiting on this person to do this.
Trigger me right now,
They taking a while. I don't know what's going on.
Don't trigger me right now,
or they go to your line because somebody else is held up and they say, man, I guess I had this today. It's like, I guess that guy's going to take 500 years to get that done.
Bro, if you plug it in, super fast charge.
Oh, bad.
It's going even faster.
I need that.
But yeah, man, you already know because I'm still in the field.
Yep.
Daily jam, man. The daily jam.
Oh, they do it in my field.
I had something like that today. Literally, a customer was complaining to me on the phone about something that they admitted was out of my control. Literally, it just became a vent session.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, they're not even mad at me. No,
it usually is.
They're just complaining. It's just like, yeah, and I understand it's not your fault.
But I had to complain to somebody.
And I just don't, and it's just ridiculous because
I just don't understand.
And I'm just like, I agree. Yeah, no, tell me about it. Bye.
Look, you should have hit that move. Like, y'all remember 2.5 Men? I understand.
Like, I'm just like, yo.
Why are you on the phone right now?
And be mindful of that, y'all, because this same week, when I was having all my different rants about time and you can't get it back and stuff, I seen one of those ever popular posts about men wasting time playing video games. And you know I'm getting older because I said video. I didn't even say video.
Give it 10 years, you're going to be saying video.
And, you know, it's just like, it's just like, we have to remember, you set the paradigm on whether something is relevant to your time or not.
Yes, indeed.
But also at the same time, if you are not producing the results, don't be surprised if people then be like, oh, outside looking in, You're wasting time. You're lazy. You're a procrastinator. Because what they don't see is the results, right?
Yes.
See, it's different when you play video games, right? And let's just say that happens to be your living.
Right.
Because then somebody can't hit you with that. Or you play video games and you're like a billionaire.
Right.
See how it's harder when you have those hard results.
Because you have substantive things
right,
to show.
Right. You have receipts to show that you are a productive person.
With that being said, I'm going to quote myself because I said this literally a couple days ago.
Oh, this man.
I said, shameless plug. If you decide to be an accuser, be prepared to stand as the accused.
Yes, sir. I seen that.
It's literally that. And that's facts. That's literal facts. Like you're dealing with situations and stuff where you want to be mad about something and you worried that this is taking too long and this is taking too long. You staring at your watch. You're doing all the things that make you think that less time is going by or more time is going by than it should be. Our perception of time changes as the day goes by.
Period.
And because of that, we have different experience. We can all have different experiences of what takes too long and what doesn't take too long or what doesn't take long enough within the same space of time.
Yeah.
It's trippy. It's crazy.
I agree.
And the real thing about that is, seriously, doing all this stuff. If you're a customer, please don't do this. And I mean, we even have this in my line of work, my current line of work now. We'll have somebody set up a meeting and get everything set. And I mean, in some cases, you go and you pick up the other. Yes, put that on a shirt and sell it. Yes. Look, I would. I actually just might. Don't tempt me, man. Don't tempt me. I know people. But yeah, look. You go look, there's sometimes where you have to go and get one of the two parties that participate in the meeting. So you got to go out there, pick them up, bring them to the facility. Say that person don't show up. If they don't show up within 15 minutes, visit over. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? But we are held to the same standard as well. If we don't make it in 15 minutes, visit over. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. Is literally a concept of why would you set up something that you know you ain't coming to do?
Yeah.
Just to cancel the day of or just not show up or do things like that. And it, once again, is about value of time. The value of what that time means as well. Because you and I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely struggled with stuff like that,
in
the past. And I will say for those of us out here, which is a decent majority these days, I don't know the exact stat off my head, but a lot of us suffer from mental illness and varying degrees of other problems physically as well.
Absolutely.
And the thing is that we have to remember at the end of the day, no matter how much other people show concern, empathy, whatever that may have you,
they're not you.
They're not you, and you still have to keep in mind how your ailments and or behaviors may affect other people.
Yep.
And that is not limited to the time spent or not spent with and or doing for other people. I used to be very bad when it came to flaking and missing certain obligations because I would let my own personal issues get the best of me. Sometimes it wouldn't be so bad that it would ruin things for other people, but there were times when it did.
Right.
And sometimes, especially with things that we can mitigate, not control,
but
mitigate, we do have to be aware of how it affects other people.
Right.
That's a selfless approach.
Yes.
That's a very selfless approach that we sometimes need to take. People don't have to do stuff for you because you ask them to or because you want them to.
Look,
and vice versa.
That's one of the biggest things that I try to teach, like my nephew and my godson. There's been a couple times I've said it in anger, but like, to be real, it's like, look, nobody owes you anything.
Correct.
The only thing that is owed to you, even from your parents, is for them to keep you safe, alive, and educated. Other than that, all this other stuff is extra.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So stop acting like you're entitled to something because you're not. I endeavor, and I'll do the same thing with my kids. I endeavor to teach them that entitlement is not a standard we follow, because it's not. You know how nauseating it is to deal with an entitled person. You know how absolutely nauseating it is to deal with somebody who only considers their time and no one else's.
Right.
And this is the whole thing about that. It's just really is aggravating. And if there's anything that this pandemic has taught us, has really shown.
I'm glad you brought the pandemic
into the scope. It has shown just how inconsiderate, how insensitive, and how just completely, what do you want to say, far removed some people are from the concerns of other people. It has brought our selfishness out to the absolute full front. Yes. And so inconsiderate. Absolutely.
Facts, Mies.
Yes. Because it's seriously, what's up, Mies? Because seriously, you see people out here getting in whole entire political debates about things that could potentially kill somebody.
Right.
And when you say it like that, it sounds real crazy, don't it? Yeah, that's how it happens. And it's just like, bro, like, first off, since, you know, I study what I study, I do what I do.
Talk your talk.
Do a lot of y'all not know that talking about your health status, or really not necessarily talking about it, you can disclose it, but people running up on you and inquiring on anything that you do concerning your own personal health is a HIPAA violation. You are not legally allowed or permitted to ask somebody about their health state, their state of health, or what they do about their state of health, because that is their personal information that is protected by HIPAA. That is a HIPAA violation. So if you run, I'm just going to say it, if you run up on somebody and ask them whether they vaccinated or not, and you don't know them from a brick, that's a HIPAA violation. You ain't got no right to do that.
I want to say,
and we don't take no sides on that. But the simple fact is, look, yes, including jobs. Thank you. Because here's the thing. Even certain jobs can't ask you that unless it is what? Relevant to the job. Unless it holds value for the job. If it does not, it is a HIPAA violation.
Yeah. And you know, in the scope of talking about time, right? You know, we've definitely, especially if you've worked in retail, you've seen how much time and the lack of carelessness that exists amongst people in regards to folks' time there is. I've been telling people, and you can attest this too. Many of us can. Like, most of us have been essential workers this entire time.
Yep.
And a lot of us didn't get nowhere near as much money as the people who were unemployed this entire time.
Nope.
So imagine feeling a type of way for somebody who choosing to step out, deal with the rest of the community that is, whether they vaccinated or not, but yet got all the time in the world to do whatever they please.
Be as nasty as they want to.
Be as nasty as you want to, both as a person and whatever's in your damn system,
because it'd be
and have to deal with that. We still ain't been paid enough.
No.
We still ain't been paid enough. And not every company is, you know, Fortune 500.
No.
Doing hazard pay, paying for college and all this other shit.
Some people didn't get those type of amenities.
Yes, a lot of people didn't get those type of amenities, PTO, etc. A lot of people got the dirty end of that deal.
Look, and the thing that really gets me is the fact that, like, domestic disputes and violence hit an uptick as a result of this, and that just tells me that y'all didn't even value your time with each other. Ones that engaged in that, people complaining about their kids, going, "Dang it, they gonna take the kids out to school, and I gotta sit here and do this virtual learning."
Mm-hmm.
I gotta sit, which translates to I gotta sit here with these babies that I made and that I usually like to send away for 4 to 5 hours a day so I can F off and do whatever I want to that I would have wanted to do when I didn't have them. And now I gotta take that time and devote it to them.
Talk on it. Yeah. Or, you know,
why'd you have them? Like,
if you ain't using
maybe
this
I'm being
pandemic,
insensitive, but seriously,
no. Hey, we got to call it what it is. That's what we doing.
Because look, I understand some of them that are tired because, I mean, you got to deal with work, you got to deal with work. Maybe you go to school. Maybe you got you got a husband and a wife. Maybe it's just you. Maybe your child has special needs. Okay, I get that. But some of these folk just complain because they know that all they do is sit them in front of the TV, let it play Coco Melon and DBZ, and then leave them and then go off somewhere.
Bruh, look, I'm here to tell y'all.
I done seen both sides, bro.
With all this stimulus check stuff,
Lord.
with all this PPP loan stuff, and overall in general, with all this time vested, if you aren't using this time period to step out of your comfort zone
and do something,
because I want to talk about this element of productivity too.
Okay.
And do something different, you are wasting time.
Yeah.
And what am I talking about specifically? I'm more so talking about fear and uncomfortability and its effects on productivity. Some of y'all
that's a bar
ain't doing shit because y'all afraid.
Yeah.
And you got time. If you
sometimes it ain't even fear. Sometimes it's complacency.
But hold on, because I want to talk about fear specifically.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are choosing not to do things because they are afraid to step out and do things. And that's cool. Some people are just naturally afraid of things.
Yeah.
Understood. But let me tell you something. If you want to see a difference in your life, you have to do something different. If you want change, you have to change. Like, I hate to be cliche with it, but
look, life might work
that's the reality.
Life might work a little bit like an algebraic equation. I can't talk. But at the same time, if you understand how an algebraic equation works or any equation works, you have two or more factors coming together to create a result. So if those main factors do not change, why in God's name would you think that your outcome is going to change? Do you not realize that is the literal basis of insanity?
Mm-hmm.
Or really the basis of stupidity? Because you're consciously you're consciously doing the same exact thing, but expecting different results.
Right on.
You're going along the same. You're living your life based off of the same exact template and expecting something new to happen.
Show you right. And that's the thing. Like, y'all, we got to get out of that. So first and foremost, decide what's important to you in your life based off of what type of results that you're trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. You set the standards, you set the rules, you set what values matter to you.
Because it's for you.
From then, you need to set up a schedule of sorts. Mm-hmm. You need to allocate the time to the work. Mm-hmm. Same way your job is set up. You get paid whatever you get paid an hour. Why can't you get paid that same thing when you walk out of that job? You can. Plenty of people make passive income.
Yes.
Everybody talking about multiple streams of income, but ain't nobody talking about the fact that you need the time to make the multiple streams.
Everybody wants to say invest. You need to be an entrepreneur. You need to do this. If you ain't doing this, and you ain't got an LLC, and you ain't got this, and you ain't got to look. Maybe that ain't your road in life. Maybe your role in life is to have a little side hustle where you make about $30 off of a couple of things. Maybe you just do hair. That doesn't mean you have to build a salon.
Yeah, everybody ain't got to be a soldier. I don't know why I picked this up, but remember that. Stay in your lane. Find your lane. But understand, a lot of times when some of these people talk, these gurus and these
don't feel intimidated by other people who might be doing a little bit more. That's their lane.
If anything, use that as inspiration, because a lot of y'all like comparing yourselves.
Please
now, you know me, I try my best not to do that shit, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm unique and ain't shit like me.
Right.
And that's just my approach. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I mean, I just think I'm the shit compared to what I was yesterday. I'm only in competition with myself. I'm only in comparison with myself. Yes. I'm only trying to be better than I was yesterday.
I literally had a conversation with a 19-year-old today who said, he's like, man, it's like, well, I'm trying to fix things and it's two things that are too late for me to fix. I'm like, okay, first off, that too late don't exist. First off, you're 19, you have a full-time job. And you're trying to get your life together. You know how many people at 19 don't have that?
You know how many people at 29, 39, 49? Boy, you should have hit them with that.
It's still living in a mama or a girlfriend house, sucking up all of her good air and drinking all her kids' orange juice.
And driving a car.
Yep. Burning up all the gas and ain't paying for none of it. Look, now but that's the thing. Sometimes it is the metric we hold ourselves, the standards we hold ourselves to. But one thing I told him is like, look, there is no such thing as too late. You know what I'm saying? And even if there is, you ain't at it. You're 19. Like, look, my thing is, you're coming. It's literally the fact of it doesn't matter how long or how short it takes you to do something. It matters that you decide to do it. Because honestly, here's the weird reverse psychology of that. The more you keep dwelling on, well, because I used to be this way. I used to be like, well, such and such, they already graduated, and they already got kids, and they didn't got married, and this one's a doctor, and this one's a PhD, and this one's got a master's, and I ain't even got my bruh. You know how much time you waste worrying about pocket watching everybody else, being mad about your own situation, being pissed off because you're not on that level, knowing full well that you have no idea what they had to do to get that. Woo! You don't know how many nights they stayed up. You don't know how many 18 credit hour things that they took, semesters they took. You don't know how many times they wanted to say screw it and quit and just didn't.
Facts.
Meanwhile, you consumed by everything that's bothering you, along with seeing that and sitting there going, Lord, why you can't do that for me? You know, for those of us who do believe, look, Lord, why you can't do that for me? Why you can't do that for me? One thing a preacher told us one time, she said, stop worrying about what everybody else gets blessed with and sitting there asking God to bless you with the same thing, because sometimes he doesn't do it because he knows you're not ready for it.
And you know, look, I
mean, it's just honesty.
You talk about late and stuff, and let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I want patience and delayed gratification, y'all.
Ooh.
Listen.
Okay.
Let me rock it with y'all like this. I used to have this issue.
Okay.
With patience.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me. I used to have this issue with patience where I had a problem with being patient with things that I felt I was in control of. I'm gonna put a period on that for a second because I want to read Kiki's comment.
Okay, we're on the
before
same
before I deconstruct my what I just said, because it's important.
Right.
Most of the people I went to school with either graduated college or didn't go finish it. I'm still choosing to go back, work my job, balance my personal life. It's never too late. Failure to me is not trying.
One more time for the people in the back.
Woo!
Say that one more time.
Let me
say that one more time.
Let me put that on spotlight real quick.
That is the truth. Failure to me is not trying, because not everybody can own a Fortune 500 company. Not everybody can work for a Fortune 500 company. Not everybody can get a master's degree and a doctorate and all of that stuff in the allotted time. Not everybody can get a 4-year degree in 4 years. But one thing you can do is try.
And Mies follow up. They basically just did the LeBron James and Wayne Wade right here. She followed up and said, and we aren't breaking our backs, falling into depression, and raising our blood pressure to make the next person rich anymore. Stepping out of our comfort zone is so important. Yes.
God, where's the clue bomb at?
I swear.
Bro.
I gotta show that too. Because here's the thing.
That's a body.
Because some of y'all do that. And I've done it before too.
We
be at work and we be like, man, I hate this shit. Why I gotta do this for the man, and I gotta do all this extra work, and I'm funding somebody else's dream, right? I'm funding somebody else's dream. I'm making it so somebody else could go swim in fucking Cancun with their kids.
You gonna get the pizza party, and they gonna get that bonus,
right?
And they gonna take their kids. And they gonna take their kids to Holiday World for the 4th time. You still ain't got them the first.
Come on,
just saying.
And here's the thing: if you that frustrated, if you that bothered, guess what?
Go do something about it.
Go do something about it. You are capable.
Yes.
Believe in yourself. So that's one thing about me. And I gotta say this. Everybody wasn't fortunate enough to be raised to believe in themselves.
Yes, that is very true.
I was.
Yeah.
So that's part of my excuse. But here's the other thing, like what I just said. Patience and delayed gratification. I used to hate. I couldn't be patient when there were things that I felt I was in control of.
Yes.
But that's the problem.
You felt like you were in control of it.
So really, what I'm really saying is I'm not doing enough
And it's
I'm
my
mad.
fault that I don't have it.
Exactly. And you know how long it took me to realize that that's what I was really saying? It was like
wow.
me. It was like angel on the shoulder, devil on the other.
And the devil kicking you in the neck.
Bruh. And I was like, wait a minute. That don't make no sense
look,
what I just said.
Look, you and me been in the same boat. Look, hold on. And Jamie said, and not everyone wants that. It's sad that people force their own goals into everyone else. Yes.
Yeah. We're not all look, everybody ain't gonna be a soldier.
No.
Everybody ain't gonna be bomb squad. No. And that's okay. You supposed to get it how you live.
Thank you.
And look, whether you're religious or not,
whether
you're religious or not, because you heard it one way or another, but you heard something like this at some point in your life growing up. If you haven't, I am glad to deliver the message.
Oh, but deliver
as the
it,
DarksKing poet. No,
yes.
But it's like this. You come into this world as you are.
Yes.
Okay. God gave you the necessary tools to be whatever you was going to be.
Yep.
You were given what you're given at the start. It's all about what you do with it.
Woo. Woo.
I believe in taking whatever you come with into this world
and using
and making something of it.
And and here's the thing. Here's the other thing about that from somebody who really been in the chat. Not everybody is born with the same gifts.
No.
And even if you are born with the same gifts, your gift isn't always going to be reflected in the same way that somebody else's is.
Come on now.
Because this is one thing as a musician. I used to have this issue. I used to sit there and look at certain folk and be like, dang, how are they able to hit chords like that? How are they able to pull that? My fingers will never do that. I could never pull that off. There's no way. The whole time I'm not realizing maybe that ain't for you. Maybe that ain't. Look,
yes.
Not saying you can't never play, but maybe that's not your style.
Right.
But you have certain things that maybe they don't. Look, sometimes you focus so much on what they can do, and then you walk up on this person, and there might be basic things that they don't know how to do.
Yeah, they got their own set of insecurities. Yes. And they got their own set of things.
And you don't realize it because you're too busy worrying about how to get your process right, how to get like them, and you don't even know what they did to get like that.
Kiki said, don't be trying to keep up with the Joneses, because at the end of the day, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. You don't know what type of crap they may be going through under the smile.
Yes.
Bars. Look, I used to say all the time, I don't give a damn about what the Jones is doing. I'm the Jacksons, damn it. Fuck out of here.
Hey, and it's
keeping up with who?
Right. Now, that doesn't say you can't learn from people and learn from their example, but that doesn't mean you go about it trying to be them. No. Stop trying to remix somebody else's blessing.
What Steve Jobs say?
Ooh, that's a quote. Look, stop trying to remix somebody's blessing. Somebody else's blessing, more specifically.
Steve Jobs. What did he say? He said, great artists copy, good artists steal. Look, y'all. Copying, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. There's so many other versions of this. Yeah. But when you steal something, in essence, what are you doing? You are taking something away.
Yes.
Think about that now.
Ooh.
You're taking something away instead of trying to just replicate it. And there's a difference between those things, because I can take something away without trying to do the same thing.
Yes. You could take something away and use it for your own purposes as if it is your own.
As opposed to just being a
carbon copy of whatever it is.
A one-to-one.
Yeah.
That's never efficient, and that lacks authenticity.
Yes.
Come on now.
Homogeneity is not always the best thing, especially when it comes to that. Nobody likes being the same exact thing.
Yeah, we preaching tonight, but delayed gratification, y'all.
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh.
Your hard work will pay off. So as long as you're seeing results.
Yeah.
That's the major key. Some of y'all be putting in hard work and not seeing no results, and that's why you get mad. Yep. What that's telling you is that you're not doing this correctly. You need to switch it up. Something about your method is trash.
And sometimes what it is that you're so stuck on reaching the big goal that's way up here, you're not noticing the little goals that you're reaching.
Hey,
it's the little victories. You have to achieve things one at a time.
What they say, life is a journey, not a destination.
Yes.
The goal is cool.
Yeah.
But just like
Life
anything
is a
else,
marathon, not a race.
just like anything else, it's like that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Y'all ever notice how much you could want or need something, but once you finally obtain it, all of that same
it don't feel the same
euphoria, that dopamine goes away.
Yep.
Because once you obtain it, that's it. It's always more enjoying when you're going through the paces because you're literally seeing the results. But once you have it,
yeah,
for most of us, it's like a point of completion.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is sometimes that dopamine fix that you get from it is not equivalent to the feelings you had when you was reaching for it. And that's the real kick in the teeth.
It kicks out. It literally goes away.
Out, but it's also relevant to how you weigh it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the deepest thing about it. Oh, Kiki said that's the quote I have stuck in my mind all the time. Yeah. Look, because I'm be honest, when it comes to performing, there's little techniques and things that I've observed that I'm like, I'm gonna use that. And I don't use it exactly like them, but I find a way to use it and make it work for me.
Right.
Look, I got a better one. Instead of good artist copy, great artist steal, the best artist sample.
Ah, okay.
And you know what that means? That means you take it, you flip it, and make it fit what your format is.
Yeah. There you go. Make it your own.
Because then you start to feel as though you are running out of time and you just barely starting to truly live. Look, I've been feeling like I was running out of time since I was 18.
Bruh, man, me too.
That's the truth.
Me too. Look, and I'm always baffled by it when I meet younger people. And it happens to everybody. It'll happen to everybody.
And it's become more exacerbated as time has gone by.
Man, bruh, I met we used to have this 17-year-old that worked with us. And whenever he would just talk about like certain things having to do with time, I would just be like looking at him like, man,
bro, what are you talking about?
I was 17 like 13 years ago.
Right.
I feel like I'm just like, man,
and
not only do you make me feel like, damn, where the fucking time go, but I'm also just like, you don't know. I don't regret anything, but I'm like, you don't even know what I would do to be 17 again.
I don't know.
I'm like, what? You're 17?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to go down that road again, man.
But I'm not even talking about.
I don't want to redo all the dumb shit I did back then.
Dumb, bro. I'm not even talking about the dumb. I'm more so just talking about that lapse in time that I can't get back anymore.
Oh, absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Because of course, at 17 I was acting an ass.
I mean, look,
there's some ass behavior.
I'd like to weigh the same way. I'd like to be able to wear the same clothes. That would be nice.
You can do that though. You can do that though.
I know.
Control the controllables. That's a controllable, bro.
Look, I'm already.
Come on, priority, time management.
You see what I'm doing?
Drink that wine, sir.
Boy,
hey, look.
It's my third one today.
We're not sponsored. Ice Mountain, better than Dasani.
That's all you need.
Period.
That's all you need.
That's all you need for a commercial.
Ice water.
If you make a commercial,
taste like plastic.
Right. If you make a commercial, ice water isn't made out of tire sweat. Bruh, all you need is a commercial that insults Dasani as a water company, and you've won.
Yeah, because everybody's going to unanimously agree that it's true.
Or
they
Nestle.
may not agree that it's the
Sci-fi.
best thing, but they will agree that it is definitely better than that. But what I was gonna say is, yeah, I mean, our society literally inundates us with the idea that we literally do not have time to do anything. That we literally do not have time. That the moment that we are born into this world, the clock starts. You know what I'm saying?
And they're right. It does start.
But it's not. It ain't that bad. Bro.
Hell no, it ain't that fucking bad.
Look, you can afford to take time to think.
Yes. And
that's the big one.
If you're going to spend some time.
Spend some time thinking.
If you're going to spend some time doing nothing else, think.
Yep. There's a lot of us
to say. You better think. No, let me stop.
Look, you better stop. Hey, look,
come on, man.
I ain't doing that. But anyway, let's not and say we did.
All right.
But in all seriousness, all the time, sometimes I think back, I'm like, all the time that I spent, I was mad, frustrated about some stuff that really didn't matter. dealing with folk that really didn't have my best interests at heart, and spending time away from schoolwork, from work, from making money, from getting good grades and doing all that stuff just to spend more time getting yelled at by my folks, getting yelled at by my advisors. Well, he didn't really yell, but he just sat there and just kind of looked at me like, and look, and getting told, and you know, the thing that I used to get told all the time, you have the potential. You have the ability to do it. Why aren't you doing it? Look, and I used to hate that.
I bet.
But you know what? They're like, you can do it. That's the other side of positive reinforcement. When they say, yes, you can do it. Why the hell ain't you doing it? But look, you know what? Getting older, you learn. Yeah, that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. The good thing about that is you think about, you know what, you're right. Let me get up and make this happen. But in some cases, the biggest thing is figuring out what you can't do versus what you think you can do. Because I'm going to tell you right now, like, remember how I said, don't try to remix other people's blessings. Don't be worried. And sometimes the reason that God don't give you certain things at a certain time is because you know you can't handle it at that moment. Let me tell you what I would be sitting here trying to do if I had gotten the job that I got right now 4 years ago. Do you not realize I'd be trying to still work the other 2 jobs I got?
Man,
I'll be like, okay. Well, my rotation is from Tuesday to Saturday. And then I still got Sundays and Mondays off. And I still go to church on Sunday. So I got some time after Sunday. I can go in and like fold something and just close, because we close early. And then I can work at this other job on Monday. And I can just work my normal 9 to 3 on Monday. And I can make some extra money and I'll be all right. And guess what I would have been in about half a year?
Bald.
Probably. Angry, mad,
Man.
beard be all scraggly, looking all drool face because I ain't slept, frustrated, mad
cans.
at everything, bro, mad at everything. Be sitting there trying to talk to these people
yelling at
that I gotta be delicate with, and sit there and be like, man, I don't know what to do. Yes, you do. Like, look, tripping. But seriously, because I tried that once. And I got walked out of a job because of that. Wasn't even paying. Look, and now that I look back at it, what I'm going to be getting now versus what I'm already getting from the job I'm leaving is slightly more than what I would have got for that.
Preach on it, bro.
And look, and I got walked out of that. That was a lesson, because I was so mad, bro. I was so mad. Look, unemployed because you said flip it all, bruh. Yes. Look, they would have seen the real Negro that day. I'm just playing. But,
no,
but look,
not.
Hey, speaking of such, when they walked me out, do you not know they stood at the door and just looked at me because I was sitting in the car? They waited for me to leave, bro. Look, because you know, when you're the only male and the only black male out of the group of potential recruits. And that was the other part that kind of hurt me, that I was like, well, I just feel like I don't have enough time. I don't feel like I have enough time. And you know what they said? Look, well, that girl there's got kids. That girl there works a whole nother job after this. That girl's got kids too. She's actually working on her degree at the same time. And they looking at me like, you are, for all intents and purposes, on paper, you are a single black male. You ain't got no kids. You're not married. You don't have kids. You don't have some of these other things that drain your time away. And, you know, and so by virtue of that, they looking at me like, you should be fine. They staying awake. They're able to stay up. They're able to operate and everything. And I was not a morning person at this time, y'all. And I was trying to adjust to everything and just make it work. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying, is what you devote your time to. Sometimes you try to force these things and it's not for you at that time. So you end up falling on your butt because you ain't listening to reason. Now I'm sitting there like, I ain't about to do that, because of the simple fact that I know what I want to devote my time to. Yes, this is nice. This is comfortable to some degree, but this is not what I want to devote my time to. This is but a stepping stone to something greater.
Yeah.
And you have to think about it like that. And sometimes some of the reason you don't think about it because you go, well, you know, they short-staffed it. And if I leave, then I'm one of the reliable ones, and that's gonna suck, and they're gonna be stuck. They will be all right.
They will replace you.
Yep, because they would have replaced you if you was a bum. So don't think that you can't replace them, even though you're doing good.
Yeah, you know, we're never permanently tied down to really anything in life.
No.
And a lot of the things we subject ourselves to are, at the end of the day, for the most part, unless the things that you're born into, are choices.
And sometimes these are choices based out of a perceived obligation to whatever it is paying your bills.
Or a perceived notion that you're making the morally right choice by doing or participating in something.
Look, stick-to-itiveness is not always a good thing, okay?
Nah. And, you know,
if well, I'm going to say this because I'm making quotables today. If stick-to-itiveness, stick-to-itiveness can quickly turn into stagnation if you ain't careful.
Is that what we doing? We just we bartending. We gonna be bartending.
Look, some days I have it. This is one of the days I got it. That's
man, look, I'm telling y'all, bottom line, you know, when it comes to time management, we have to get on this accord where we hold ourselves accountable.
Yes.
By setting up structure and systems. How do you do that? You set schedules. You create the value in the things that you need to do and want to do in life. You know, however you choose that system, you can do stars. Some people do stars. Some people do numbers, like this is priority number 1.
Right.
I recommend that people do a highlight where there's one thing that no matter what else happens in your day, you make sure you at least get that one thing. And then you got all your other little things too. Focus on tiny habits and tiny quick action things that you can do that don't take hardly no time. Absolutely. If it takes less than 5 minutes, just do it.
Because you just get it out of the way.
Also, remember, when it comes to longer goals are more intricate. Therefore, they require routines and systems. They require more steps. The whole purpose is to enjoy the journey.
Yes.
If you enjoy the journey, that delayed gratification will be automatic.
Because sometimes the lesson isn't, and I know I'm sounding preachy, but seriously, sometimes the lesson isn't in the goal, in reaching the goal. Sometimes the lesson and the blessing is in the journey. Sometimes you figure out something in the journey that's more important than what you're getting.
And when you get in results, you will genuinely enjoy the journey more. It'll be that much more fun. Now, when you're not, that is a sign that you may need to adjust or change something.
Now, I will say this. Sometimes these bumps in the road that you encounter are to teach you how to be consistent enough and able enough to deal with what's coming next once you get to your goal. Because I'm going to tell you honestly, with a lot of things that I dealt with, a lot of people that I encountered, a lot of the folks that I ran into, they may have been part of my process or not. They may have been part of what I thought my perceived goal was or not, but I treated them all with the same level of respect. And you not knowing, in some cases, those same people pop back up and ended up being a benefit to me in what I really wanted to do. The dude who interviewed me for the job I have now had came to my old job before, and I actually rang him up. He remembered me from that. Now, what if I had decided that I had a bad day that day and I was a total jerk to this dude, not knowing him from a brick, not knowing anything about what he's doing? Because I think I knew that he was from that company, but it's still the fact of I could have just chose to be a jerk that day. I don't know that guy. He doesn't know me. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting in an interview room with the same person that I was a dick to. You never know whose hands you're in. You never know what opportunity might be a big opportunity. You have to treat these things accordingly. It goes back to valuing and spending time. Because even though you don't devote time to something, or even though you don't devote or ascribe value to something, doesn't mean that you have to callously treat it like something that is wrong and messed up. Even though you work in a job you don't like, you don't have to make everybody realize and understand off rip that you don't like it. Stop with all the stop with all the and all these grunting noises you making. Don't do that. It's not worth it. It wastes time. And all you're going to do is make yourself even madder about something you got to do anyway.
That you're in control of.
Yes.
So, you know.
I can leave at any time. Okay.
Right. Then leave.
Even customers. If you're a customer, be like, I don't even like this place. I don't need to be here. Why are you still here?
Basically, pretty much.
Get out. Stop telling your 3-year-old that you don't like where you're at. Your 3-year-old doesn't care, and neither do we. Get out.
But yeah, you know, we ain't gonna, as NeRo would say, we will not belabor the point. You know, we will continue this conversation in the group. There's already a conversation that has been started regarding productivity,
and it's gonna be on the podcast.
Yes, so definitely, you guys check out the group. If you are not in the group, you need to go on Facebook, find the Black in a Minute podcast, follow the page, and you'll get a special exclusive invite. Most of y'all are day one, so y'all already in there. But for those new, that's how you will get in to our group, because you can't just find it on Facebook. It's private. We're trying to keep it private, trying to keep it exclusive, so we can keep goofies and dusties on somewhere.
Yep, and Bro Seth the Hotep too. He can go.
Right. But
that's gonna be my new one.
If you guys also want any tips regarding productivity or anything, of course, I'm in the group. I'm gonna drop some stuff in there later on. I'm actually gonna answer the question myself with some of my best productivity
y'all
tips.
Go ahead and hit him up because he's the scheduling person.
I'm just
the person that decides, okay, I'm gonna do this, and this, and I'm just gonna stop.
I'm gonna say one more thing that is important.
Okay.
In general, we have to value our time either as much, if not more, than our money, because we can't make up the money, but we can get back, or we can't make up the time, but we can get back the money.
Ooh,
that's how important time is as it relates to money. Also, if y'all ain't got no budget in the form of a spreadsheet, piece of paper, envelope, something, goddamn it, you are fucking up. Period.
I guess I'm messing up. But
you got to have a budget. Don't rely on your brain for everything. We forget more shit than we remember, and we don't always remember shit the same as it occurred or as it came to us. Don't put full stock in your brain. You're not fucking Brainiac. Okay?
Please,
you're not Charles Xavier.
Even he
you
seen what happened to him. He ended up bald headed. You want to be bald headed?
He had a whole machine and everything.
You want to be bald headed?
You don't know everything that you think you know.
You're gonna be out here bald headed by choice. Don't do that.
Write it down if you have to.
Yes.
Don't sleep on capturing information.
Now, one thing I used to do whenever I would be at a job, and I still kind of do it now. It was one time, especially when I was in an internship, because I knew I wasn't gonna remember every step of what to do on the computer. I literally took a sheet of paper and I wrote down each step. And I kept that mug like a cheat sheet. I sat it down. There's nothing wrong with having cheat sheets. They're helpful. If you got cool coworkers, they might even give you one.
Facts. Look, and if you guys need any resources to any of this stuff, we can also provide that. I know some good YouTube videos out there. I'm actually sidebar, but on topic, I'm working on something that's called a second brain. Y'all about to hear some slight nerd shit. Bear with me. Basically, bruh,
they knew what they was in.
I'm trying to create an index system on my phone, which I'm already working on it. I got pieces of it that basically acts as a secondary brain. And by that, I mean it's a place that stores shit that jumps to my mind immediately, but might not be as important at the moment, but I still need to keep track of. Now, this might sound pretty simple to most of us because most of us do this already. There's plenty of things that we save in our phone. But how much of your shit is in one centralized location that all you have to do is type a few words and you can find any of it? Most of our shit is scattered through our phone, either from books, from photos, from random text messages, from articles we've read, from videos we've seen on YouTube, all over the place.
It's true.
I'm working on a centralized location for all of those things that I can easily just go into. Basically, it's an encyclopedia of my brain, my second brain.
It sounds lit. Yes. Kiki said, me as I'm doing my homework right now, definitely got cheat sheets and definitely got something for work. You got to.
You gotta. Yeah, you
got
gotta.
to, because sometimes folk be demanding things of you expediently. You ain't got time to sit there and access that part of your brain to think about what you need to do. So ain't nobody got time for all that.
I'm trying to escape the whole, damn, I wish I wrote that down.
Ain't no shame.
That's what I'm trying to escape. And because, I mean, we all be finding good shit all over the internet, whether it be funny, informative, whatever, all the time. Wouldn't it be dope if you just had one place where you just forever pull that up without having to think, oh, where did I say that? Or where? No, I don't have to do that. It's all right here. And that's what I'm working on. I might share some videos on that too. It's pretty neat. If you're that type of person, if you're that into detail and stuff,
right?
It's something really cool. But that's really all I got to say on the topic, y'all. Remember, y'all, delayed gratification is the biggest key. Ooh. This stuff takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. And remember, you have to assign and decide what's valuable to you when it comes to your time.
That and truthfully, nothing that is actually worth it is ever easy or expedient.
Yeah.
Nothing that is truly worth your time is going to be easy or expedient.
Show you right.
It take time, bro. Look, you don't come out of this. You don't come into this world as a half-grown 20-year-old. You come out in this world as a baby. It takes time for you to grow to be a toddler. It takes time for you to grow to be a child. It takes time for you to grow to be an adolescent. It takes time for you to grow to be an adult. And then you get old. And that doesn't take any time at all. But anyway, like most things, everything that's important in life takes time. You know what I'm saying? Was I the only person that in school we got assigned a caterpillar to like watch as they grow, and you would document their progress and stuff? We gave names.
I'm sorry, sir, but I grew up on 63rd Street in Chicago. Them caterpillars were already dead. Niggas ain't had caterpillars in school. You might have had ants, and my
point is,
I'm just saying shit.
Yes. Look, thank you. Somebody
we weren't lucky enough to have no goddamn caterpillars. Shit. The caterpillar might have been in the pizza.
Look, it's probably because y'all little hood boogers was stepping on them.
Hey, I wasn't.
Or burning them with the lights.
I was like feeling little with bugs.
Anyway, that ain't the point. The point is, you had to sit there and watch the process. Like some of us was annoyed. We go like, why we have to do all this? Why we have to do all this? We already know it's gonna be. Yes, but you have to watch the process and be like, dang, why don't it turn into a butterfly already? Because it ain't time. It's not born a butterfly. It goes from a caterpillar. It gets big and fat because you keep feeding it. It makes a cocoon, then it comes out. And even then, there's no guarantee what it's gonna look like once it pops out. You know, it might be an elegant and beautiful butterfly, or it might be a basic looking moth. But you know,
there's some cold moths out there, sir.
Me and moths have beef, and you know why. Yeah, me and that moth has beef, and it is still the fate of its entire race of people if it ever comes back in my house.
But yeah, y'all, we ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. NeRo, you got any final thoughts on the topic, sir?
I would just say you never have to worry about trying to reclaim your time if you assign time to the things that matter.
Woo!
And then the other thing I will say is, don't ever let nobody tell you that something is too late. Things happen and things occur. And see, my boy said he just left the gym. Things happen and things occur in the time they're supposed to, if you let it. The main thing you can control is trying.
We ain't had no damn garden where I went to school. Or no, we damn sure ain't had no baby chicks. Them eggs stayed in the refrigerator.
Baby chicks.
Anyway.
Oh no, I would have lost that one. I ain't that delicate. I was not that delicate as a child. I would have felt bad immensely, but I was not that delicate as a child.
In closing, I just want to say, you know, y'all remember, You assign the value to the time.
Yes.
Don't let nobody else tell you it's a waste of time. If you're achieving the results that you need and want,
Or you're satisfied with.
or you're satisfied, and I don't even want to say satisfied. If you're achieving the results that you want and you're making forward progress, that's truly all that matters. But it has to matter to you,
Right.
not anyone else. It has to matter to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want any help with that, well, we gave out some pieces of advice that work for us. I got so much more that I'm going to talk about in the group. The question should be pinned to the top of the group as far as time management goes.
Yep.
And I'll share some of my own personal gems, including some of the stuff I've already shared in this video.
Go ahead.
But remember,
I'm gonna need that itinerary later.
You assign the value. You decide what's important.
Yes.
Say no when you can't meet other people's time constraints.
Oh, Jesus, please say no.
Please say no.
Please say no. Please say no. Take this from somebody who never says no. Please say no. No is important.
If you're dealing with people that respect you,
bro,
they will understand. If they value their time too, they will understand.
And if you want to test whether they value your time and not, tell them no just once. Actually tell them maybe. Or maybe not today. See what they do. That's how you know.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say on it. NeRo, if you ain't got anything else to say, you could take us out, sir.
Yeah, dog. I think we good. Because some of this has to be saved for the podcast, so y'all can actually, listen to the audio pod. We need more plays.
Swear.
Because YouTube ain't paying us, but Anchor is, so y'all can contribute. Or you can always just send some donations.
We need those.
Look, it's either that or this suddenly becomes the Black in a Minute podcast ASMR channel.
And y'all don't want that, especially considering that Dasani is trash.
No, you gotta do it like this.
Welcome to the Black in a Minute podcast. I am NeRo AnGelo. Dasani is trash. And for those of y'all who do not know me, I go by the DarksKing poet. That's DarksKing with a G on the end.
Yes, indeed. We're going to help you go to sleep today. But before you do, you need to send us some donations.
Please and thank you. Or EBT is also accepted. Because I'm hungry right now.
Super facts.
Twice.
Don't do Western Union, though. I ain't trying to be walking out with a whole bunch of money.
Or Cash App because they hacking niggas nowadays. But anyway,
we got it though if you really got to.
Peace out.
Hold on. Bro said, what's the next topic? We don't know yet. So if you have any suggestions, if anybody got any suggestions, go on ahead. Just slide that into the DMs.
Facts.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna stop being goofy.
Right. They're like, why?
We had a whole ASMR section.
These niggas
somebody popped. It would be terrible if somebody popped them and they're like, I didn't know it was this type of channel. It is today. But anyway, we're gonna see y'all later because we gotta go ahead and record this young podcast that we need y'all to listen to.
Facts.
So I am NeRo AnGelo.
And I go by the DarksKing poet. That's DarksKing with a G on the end.
Yes, sir. And this has been the Black in a Minute podcast live stream. Peace out.
Power.